Assalamualaikum everybody. We're here today with another informative vlog for you. In our previous vlog, we had covered how to write an effective CV. We'll put the link in the comments below. This vlog is about how to prepare for an interview. So before I begin the vlog about how to prepare for an interview, I think I need to give a background of why it is important to prepare for an interview. See, the thing is, when you're applied for a job, I think there are probably 100, 200, or maybe even more candidates that are applying for the same job. They're competing with you, and you need to stand out to impress the employer. And the only way to impress the employee within 30 minutes or an hour or more, whatever the time duration is for the interview, is to be really informative about everything, not just about your own experience, but I think there are a number of other aspects that need to be covered um, uh, within the interview as well. And there can be some random questions that the employer can throw at you or the HR manager, and you need to be prepared for those. And the only way that you can be prepared for those is to have a checklist ready for each interview. So what we'll go through is a couple of steps that you can follow to be well prepared for an interview. So here goes. So I think first and foremost that you need to understand is what the rule that I follow. जो rule मैं follow करता हूँ for an interview is if it's an hour's interview, if it's 1 hour interview, then you need to prepare at least 8 to 10 hours for the interview. So a lot of people make a mistake where they just review their CV and they just walk into an interview and that even though they think that they're prepared for an interview, but that's not how you prepare for an interview. You already know about your experience, but how that fits into the role or how that fits into the overall the environment of the company, I think that needs to be prepared. You need to have a couple of answers, and then when people don't get an answer, then they're actually a little shocked of what actually happened. They performed very well in the interview, but they did not get a call from the employer. So first and foremost, the rule that I just told you is for an hour's interview, you need to have at least 8 to 10 hours of preparation. That can be even longer for a person who's not experienced at all. So you need to absolutely understand a few things about the company. So the second part which you need to cover is research about the company. So you've applied for a company, applied for a job within the company, but you don't know much about the company. And that is not something good when you walk into an interview and you don't know anything about the company. And the good part is that you can prepare for that very well these days because you have access to internet, you have access to social media. So you can easily go to platforms like LinkedIn or the company's website और social media, Instagram, Facebook. So companies जो हैं वो बहुत ज़्यादा कुछ communicate करती हैं अपने website पे and these social media channels. So I think the first thing that you need to do is research about the company. कि कंपनी establish कब हुई थी, उसका line of business क्या है, अगर बहुत well known company नहीं है तो you need to get down into the details of वो किन companies के साथ काम करते हैं, उनके customers के साथ वो किस तरह interact करते हैं, और ये सारा कुछ you can find all of that information very easily by just googling about the company. So just go to google.com और वहाँ पे आप लिखें you write the name of the company and a lot of details will just start coming up, and then you go through them, take the relevant information and then just note it down somewhere. Print निकालें उसका या अपने notes बनाएं, उसमें लिखें कि इस कंपनी का बिजनेस ये है, एनुअल टर्नओवर ये है, इतने कस्टमर बेस है इनकी, इतना मार्केट शेयर है. सो ये मे बी इन इनिशियल फ्यू मिनट्स ऑफ द इंटरव्यू आपको हेल्प ना करे, बट एज द डिस्कशन गोज ऑन इन द लेटर लेट्स से 15-20 मिनट्स, जब वो डिस्कशन आएगा कंपनी के बारे में, तो देन दिस इंफॉर्मेशन विल रियली हेल्प यू एंड इट विल ऑल्सो हेल्प यू एक्चुअली टू विजुअलाइज योर सेल्फ कि आप उस कंपनी में काम करके क्या व्हाट डिफरेंस कैन यू मेक. फिर उसके बाद जो नेक्स्ट चीज़ आती है ऑब्वियसली इट्स अबाउट द रोल. सो फर्स्ट एंड फॉरमोस्ट अबाउट द रोल यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड द जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन. सो a lot of times जब कैंडिडेट्स दे प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर अ रोल, उनके पास जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन ही नहीं होती. सो सिर्फ रोल का पता था जी ये सेल्स का रोल है या ये मार्केटिंग का रोल है, लेकिन जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन नहीं है. सो आपका राइट होता है, यू हैव दैट राइट टू आस्क फॉर अ जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन फ्रॉम एन एम्प्लॉयर. So as soon as you ask, the employer will be bound to actually, he's actually you have a right. So आप वो मांग सकते हैं, आप मांगें, बल्कि that I would highly encourage you. मैं हमेशा मांगता हूँ. So आप मांगे, and then from that job description you can take a lot of information कि जी उस how do you fit, how does your experience fit within that job description. So आप उस job description जब आपके पास document आ जाए, आप उसको at least read it 4 to 5 times, slowly उसको read करें. फिर उसमें highlight करें क्या चीज़ फ़ौरन से click करती है आपको, which you can easily talk about. फिर उसके बाद वो चीज़ें हाईलाइट करें विच यू नॉट कंफर्टेबल विद. अब एम्प्लॉयर जब आपका सीवी सेलेक्ट करते हैं तो उसको ऑलरेडी उसने आपकी सीवी देखी होती है. ही ऑलरेडी नोज दैट यू आर नॉट 100% फिट, यू आर 90% और 80% फिट. तो उसके अंदर दे ऑलरेडी नो दैट 10 to 20% रोल जो होगा वो ही विल लर्न विद इन द जॉब. सो आप फिक्र नहीं करें कि इफ़ यू नॉट 100% फिट. मैं आपको अपना एग्जांपल देता हूँ दैट अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह द रोल्स दैट I've had all through my career, I was probably 60, probably 50, 60% fit at the time of the interview. But alhamdulillah, as I was in the role, I was able to learn. So it's not a rule कि आपने और ये this is I think something known within the entire hiring process जो होता है कि people know कि जो person हम hire कर रहे हैं या जो भी कैंडिडेट आता है, he will never be 110% fit. सो वरना लर्निंग किस तरह होगी लोगों की, अगर अगर एवरीबडी जो भी जॉब लेता है वो 100% फिट हो हमेशा. सो डोंट गेट डिस्करेज अगर आप when you read the job description and you're not 100% fit. That does not matter at all. What it should actually, उससे आपको you should encourage yourself to actually prepare for the parts which you are comfortable with, and then research on the parts which you are not comfortable with. आपके सर्कल में I'm sure you would have a lot of people. आप उनसे पूछें कि don't talk about the job and all, but just उस चीज़ को just take it out. अगर आपको कोई दोस्त है उस स्पेसिफिक इंडस्ट्री में काम करता है and he's in a similar role, आप उससे पूछेंगे यार ये वाला पार्ट कैसे होता है, and then probably you can have an idea. So when within the interview अगर आपसे उस बारे में पूछा जाए, so you can be upfront about it कि नहीं जी मैंने वो पहले किया नहीं, but I have an idea and I can learn. I'm a quick learner. So और उसका दूसरा फ़ायदा ये भी होगा कि you already would have identified the roles that you're not comfortable with. You'd not be surprised within the interview कि एक शॉकर नहीं होगा आपके लिए कि वो चीज़ अगर एम्प्लॉयर पूछ लेता है. So you would be upfront. You'd be very confident by saying नहीं जी मैंने वो पहले I've not done that, but I have an idea कि उसको इस तरह करते हैं. And I'm a quick learner, I'm a fast learner, and I can learn that very easily. So that you should cover. So आप पूरी CV को read करें, identify करें आपके pros and cons क्या हैं उसमें, जो चीज़ highlight, जो चीज़ आप quickly prepare कर सकते हैं वो करें, जो नहीं कर सकते which you don't have an experience on, वो आप फिर लोगों से थोड़ा सा पूछ लें कि उसके वो किस तरह होते हैं, how you can prepare for that. फिर उसके बाद also what you need to understand, अगर कोई चीज़ आपने cover नहीं की भी लाइफ में, मतलब if you're not you don't lie about it within the interview. अगर आपसे कोई पूछता है कि जी आपने XYZ किया हुआ है, आप ये नहीं कहेंगे जी हाँ मैंने ये भी किया है, मैंने वो भी किया है. जैसे मैंने अपनी प्रीवियस वाले अपने व्लॉग में बताया था कि यू शुड नेवर लाई अबाउट योर एक्सपीरियंस ऑन द CV, देन ऑल्सो यू शुड नेवर लाई अबाउट एन एक्सपीरियंस विद इन द इंटरव्यू. क्योंकि वो जब क्रॉस क्वेश्चनिंग होती है, अगर उसके क्रॉस क्वेश्चनिंग का मतलब ये होता है कि अगर एक आपने चीज़ बोल दी तो HR मैनेजर या जो भी लाइन मैनेजर उसने उसी चीज़ के बारे में दोबारा क्वेश्चन कर लिया. आपने बात की कि जी मैंने फ़लाँ प्रोजेक्ट पे काम किया, वो पूछ लें जी कितने बंदे थे उस प्रोजेक्ट में, आप बोलोगे जी उसमें 5 बंदे थे, आप उसका बजट कितना था. तो इस तरह जब उसकी डिटेल्स आती हैं, अगर आपने कहीं पे बात कर दी जो कि इट इज़ नॉट मेकिंग सेंस, दे विल नो कि जी यूर लाइंग अबाउट इट, एंड दैट हैज़ अ वेरी नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट. इट्स बेटर टू टेल अप फ्रंट कि नहीं जी मेरा उसमें ये रोल था, मैंने पूरे प्रोजेक्ट को मैनेज नहीं किया था, ये मैंने पूरी चीज़ को मैनेज नहीं किया था, आई वॉज पार्ट ऑफ द टीम. सो उसमें 2-3 चीज़ें आप लोग कवर कर लेंगे कि आपने ये भी बता दी कि यूर अ टीम प्लेयर, एंड देन यूर ऑनेस्ट अबाउट इट, एंड कि ये जो आपने पार्ट किया, यू बी वेरी कॉन्फिडेंट अबाउट टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट स्पेसिफिक पार्ट. सो वो 2-3 चीज़ें उसमें कवर हो जाती हैं. यू शुड नेवर लाई अबाउट दैट. Then another thing that you need to research about and you need to prepare about is examples of specific things that you've done in life. So उससे बहुत ज़्यादा impact, it creates a big impact कि if you're talking about your specific experience, about a specific part which the employer is asking about. So for example, अगर employer ने पूछा कि अच्छा जी फलां XYZ आप किन किन कस्टमर्स के साथ आपने काम किया हुआ है, या आपने किन प्रोजेक्ट्स के बारे में काम किया हुआ है, या आपने कोई स्पेसिफिक बात, कोई स्पेसिफिक मे बी ही गिव्स अ स्पेसिफिक सिनारियो, एंड देन यू हैव टू टॉक अबाउट दैट. सो आप वो कुछ एग्जांपल्स पहले ही हैव, यू नो, जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन जब आप रीड कर रहे होते हैं, सो हैव सम एग्जांपल्स इन योर माइंड which you can talk about, some achievements that you can talk about. Then it's very important to have some facts and figures ready about your own experience. कि आपने जिससे मैंने पिछले अपने ब्लॉग में भी बताया था कि अपने सीवी पे लिखें, सो हैव दोज फैक्ट्स एंड फिगर्स रेडी इन योर माइंड, परसेंटेजेस, नंबर्स, वो उनसे बहुत ज़्यादा इम्पैक्ट बनता है व्हेन यू टॉकिंग टू समबडी. एंड यू नो इट जस्ट शोज कि जो अगला बंदा है ही इज़ वेल प्रिपेयर्ड एंड ही नोज व्हाट ही इज़ टॉकिंग अबाउट. जो लोग आपसे, you know, people who are interviewing you, researching about those is absolutely necessary. So you can't, क्योंकि that उसमें दो तीन चीज़ें which are very important is, एक तो first and foremost you need to ask, जब आपको इंटरव्यू कॉल आती है कि मुझे इंटरव्यू who's going to be taking my interview, is it going to be the HR, is it going to be the line manager, is it going to be somebody from the senior management. So वो जब आप क्वेश्चन पूछेंगे which you have a right to ask. So उसका आपको फ़ायदा ये होगा, you'll be able to prepare your interview accordingly, prepare for your interview accordingly. Meaning कि अगर तो HR वाला बंदा आपको he is interviewing, then you know कि the interview might not be very technical, and probably it's the first interview. It's going to be more about talking about your personality, uh, high level experience, and just seeing whether you fit within the company or not. फिर अगर if it's a line manager, then it can get very technical. Then you need to prepare. You need to be ready for technical questions. Then if it's senior management, senior leadership, then you know it's probably going to be on a very high level about the industry, about the market, about teams, about how your experience fits in the overall strategy of the company. So I think that is also very important. And secondly, what you need to do is, ये तो उनके रोल के बारे में हो गया, उनके career level के बारे में हो गया. Then you need to take hold of the names as well. Probably you can ask for those from the HR person के जी कौन who is going to be interviewing me. So when they tell you the name, तो मैं जो इस तरह करता हूँ कि you know I go to LinkedIn and I find about the person कि उसके experiences क्या हैं, whether he is from the same industry or he's from a different, he's worked in different industries. Then you can actually have some sort of connection with a person as well, कि कोई common connections हैं, maybe आपने किसी common company में काम किया हो. So while you know you're talking in the interview, you can quote that उसके अपने एक्सपीरियंस से कि जी फलां कंपनी में मैंने काम किया हुआ है, आपने भी वहाँ पे काम किया हुआ है, आई सॉ इन. सो उससे बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छा एक किस्म का इंप्रेशन पड़ता है कि द पर्सन हु आई एम इंटरव्यूइंग is you know he's done his research, he's he knows the market, he's done his research. So that creates, that's always helped me. मतलब एक बहुत ज़्यादा एक किस्म का within the interview it creates a very positive impact. So that might even make you stand out from the rest of the crowd, because probably I can tell you that 70 to 80% people will not be doing that. So this is an extra thing that you would be doing when you're researching about the people who are interviewing. फिर उसके बाद एक चीज़ which you really need to avoid within the interview is, एक तो self glorify बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं करनी चाहिए कि जी मैं बहुत बड़ा फने खान हूँ, या मैं ही मैन हूँ, I was the only person in the company who was working, or you know you need to sell yourself, but you need to keep a balance between showing yourself as a team player and not to have an attitude. मतलब अगर बहुत ज़्यादा भी you're talking too much about yourself, तो वो एक किस्म का नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट भी बन सकता है कि अगला बंदा ये सोचे कि ये तो he's too much about himself. So एक थोड़ा सा बैलेंस रखना होता है. And one thing that you really need to take care of is never bad mouth any of your previous employer. अगर आपका मसला भी है किसी कंपनी के साथ, so never go into an interview and say कि जी मुझे अपनी करंट एम्प्लॉयर या फलां कंपनी में मेरा बहुत ही बुरा एक्सपीरियंस था और वो बहुत ही गंदे लोग हैं और ये वो. मतलब हमारे everybody has some bad experiences, but ये कि you never should say that, because जो न्यू कंपनी आपको हायर कर रही होगी, they would also think कि कल को ये बंदा, this person would be talking the same way about us as well. So I think you should always avoid that. Never talk about your previous employer like that. It just shows that you're not a professional person, or you're not able to handle pressure or challenges in your life. So never ever do that. And I think the last part, which is very important, is to practice. 8 to 10 hours preparing is fine, but then you also need to practice कि जी आपने अपनी opening statement में कैसे बोलना है, closing में क्या करनी है, any questions that you might have for your line manager, future potential line manager या employer, वो भी every time you are giving an interview, a question लाजमी most of the times for पूछते हैं कि जी you have any questions for us, so have those questions prepared about the industry, about their market share, about their strategy. वो एक किस्म का लगता है कि जी the person is really interested to work with us, and you need to be um, well prepared for that as well. So not have too many questions, but have some sort of questions ready for the employer as well. Or I think what I need to add is, because of the current situation, is earlier we all used to have walk-in, or probably walk-in or physical interviews, but these days, obviously, because of COVID, most of the people have interviews through Skype or through Zoom or whatever platform is available. So I think uske liye my biggest advice would be to, one is, try to have your video on. उससे ये होता है कि अगर आपकी वीडियो बनती है तो employer is not able to see you. You need to give an impression that it's kind of a live interview, that you're having an in-person interview. So अगर तो employer ने नहीं कहा कि because most of the employers will not ask you to have your video on, but make an effort to have the video on. It has a different impact. And dress yourself properly, wear a shirt or a tie. I mean, at least have a formal shirt on. Try to choose a place in your house or place where it's a little quiet during that time. If you don't have that place, अब internet सारों के पास होता है, phone वगैरह में, you can even, or laptop में, you can even go to a cafe or some place where it's quieter to give an interview. मैंने तो कुछ कभी कभार a few interviews I've given sitting in a car as well, driving seat पे बैठ के, I can just like, so just it does not really matter. The place has to be quiet. You need to be you need to be presentable when you're giving an interview. So I think I've covered a lot of things. I'll try to put some summary in the comments below as well. Please go through them. If you have any questions, please do ask. I like answering questions, and I also like helping out people. So feel free to ask any questions around interviews or CVs, or I'll try to help you out as much as possible through my experience. And all the best. See you soon. Bye bye.